Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. Are people coming to you to borrow money? Don't make a move until you know my Suze rules. Also, you bought this condo when you had an income of $120,000 a year.
Yes.
So you're asking me to pull money out of the hat, so to speak, to let you stay here, right?
Yes, Susie.
And you asked me, can I afford it?
I want to buy a 2007 used road truck RV.
You want to spend $60,000 on a used car, is that right?
Wait a second.
Hi everybody, I'm Suze Orman and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. Tonight, I want to talk to all of you about the rules of lending and giving money. You're going to see many people tonight who are asking relatives for money, people who have been asked for money, they don't have it to give or lend, and the pain that is associated with it. So what are the rules if you are in that situation, somebody comes to you and they ask you for money? Lend them money, please. Here are the rules that you need to know. You are not to lend anybody money whatsoever if you have credit card debt. If you have credit card debt, you need money. You don't have the money to give somebody else. Besides no credit card debt, you have to make sure, people, that you have an 8-month emergency fund. Possibly people are asking you for money because they didn't have enough of an emergency fund, they got into trouble, and if you don't have at least an 8-month emergency fund, again, you do not have the money to lend. 3, are you fully funding your retirement? I know things look good right now. I know you feel you maybe have a little extra money now, but there will come a day, trust me, where you're going to have to live off of your retirement plan. It's going to have to generate money to you. It's what gives money to you when you no longer have a paycheck coming in. If you're not fully funding your retirement plans, you do not have money to lend or give to somebody. Let's say you're living in a house, you have a mortgage to pay, or you're renting an apartment or whatever it may be. Can you easily make that payment? Because if you are struggling with everything else, funding the 8-month emergency fund, funding your retirement, doing all these things, and you are struggling to pay your mortgage payment or your rent payment, you do not have extra money to give to somebody else. Do you get that? You also have to know that you have a secure job. You're not going to get fired, or if you're self-employed, you have a secure clientele so that you can continue to generate money. Because maybe you feel okay, everything's good right now. But if you don't have a job, you'd be surprised how fast you go through all your money, and then you're going to have to go to somebody possibly and say, can you give me money? You also have to make sure that everything that you have created is protected. Do you have adequate insurance on your car, on your home? How about health insurance? Are you paying for health insurance? You should be. If you're scrimping with health insurance, you don't have money to lend. Do you have the right term life insurance in place to protect your family? Those things all have to be there before you have extra money. If you have kids and you want them to go to college and you want to pay for it, before you lend money to somebody else, you have to make sure that you are funding their 529 plan. But here is the key thing I want you to listen to. The biggest mistake, bar none, when you loan money to somebody, you expect that they are going to pay you back. And that is a mistake. Because chances are, if they are needing money today, they may need money tomorrow, they will not have the money ever to pay you back. Now that's fine, because if you loan money, you should not loan it, you should give it. Whenever somebody comes to me and they need money, and I do think it's a legitimate cause, I don't lend them the money, I give it to them. And I give it to them knowing they don't have to feel bad about paying me back, because they don't have to pay me back. I don't have to feel bad when, in fact, they don't pay me back. You see? Because it's there. But if by chance you do decide to loan them money, you loan them money because you're not going to give it to them, you want it back. Can you only loan them an amount, number one, that you can afford for them not to pay you back in case they don't pay you back? But number two, you better get it on a promissory note. You better state, I lent you this much money. I lent you this much money at this much of an interest rate. I lent you this much money at this much of an interest rate to be paid back on this date and in full by this time. Now, let's just say you have a promissory note. You have it in writing. They sign it, you sign it. They have a copy, you have a copy. And now they do not pay you back. A year goes by, 2 years goes by, you decide they're never going to pay you back. You then, because it was a loan, can write it off as bad debt on your income taxes. As soon as you write it off as bad debt on your income taxes, guess what happens to them? That money is now taxable to them. That's their problem. So those are the rules for giving and lending money. Do not ever alter those rules, live by those rules, and one day you will be happy that you did. Susie in Utah, you are on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. I love your show.
Thank you. Do people call you Susie Q?
Sometimes, yes,
And
they
drives
do,
you crazy?
and I love it.
Oh, you love it. I know. I kind of like it, but not many people call me Susie Q anymore. They used to, but that's besides the point. What do you want to know?
Okay, I lent my sister-in-law $200, and she's made every attempt and effort not to pay me back, although she's promised me for 5 months that she's paid me back, that she would pay me back. I don't want to have to take her to court, but I think that if I don't take her to court, there's no way I'm going to see any of this money. Susie, what do I do?
Over $200.
Yeah.
Not over $200,000. Not
No.
over $2,000. Over $200. If I were you, this is what I would do, seriously. I would take this as the best financial course I ever enrolled in and think of the $200 like tuition. Because you just learned that whenever you loan people money, they normally don't pay it back because they can't pay it back, and they can't pay it back because either they don't want to pay it back or they don't have the money to pay it back, which is why they had to loan money from you to begin with. So you either give people money, but you never, ever loan it out. Why do you want to go all the way to small claims court, get your brother mad at you, go do through all of this stuff for $200? Does it mean that much to you?
I think it's the fact that she thinks I'm just going to let it go, and she's never taken responsibility for anything she's ever done in her 30 years on this planet.
What made you lend it to her to begin with, since you know she's never taken responsibility for anything she's ever done?
She was crying to me. She was all sad. She told me she couldn't go home without the money. It's not that her husband would hit her or anything, but that she couldn't go home without the money.
I think you
And my husband didn't tell me, no, don't do it.
Oh, now you're blaming it on your husband.
No.
Because if your husband had told you not to do it.
Don't do it. But
listen,
no, I'm not blaming it on my husband.
I just dropped my pen. When I drop my pen, it means this, that the writing is on the wall, sweetheart. Listen, write off the $200. Learn a lesson here. She did. She got away with it. She most certainly got away with it. And every time you see her, because she got away with it, it will remind you how never to do this again. Bernadette in Nevada, you go for it.
Susie, let me first start by saying you're my idol, and you're the only person who could help me.
Okay, let's hope that's true.
Okay, my first husband and I were married at a very young age, and after only 2.5 years of marriage, unfortunately, he passed away. That was 8 years ago. We didn't have any children together, and since then, I've been remarried for several years now, and my current husband and I have 3 little children. The problem is, my deceased husband's mother has now come to me and asked me to support her at the tune of $2,000 a month for an indefinite period of time. She's still very young. She's only 55 years old, but she's not working. I know if her son were here, he would want to help her, but I'm not sure how much of that would rely on my shoulders now. My current husband thinks I need to focus on our children and our life now. Help me, Susie. What do I do?
Here's the thing. If she had come to you and she was 85 or 90 years of age and she needed a little bit of help and you had the money, then I would say, okay, go ahead for it. But she is 55 years old. 55 years old. That is still seriously young. that is almost 5 years younger than I happen to be or going to be in the next 2 months here. So are you kidding me? I would say I am sorry. You are young enough. You can do this yourself. I'm taking care of my new family now. I respect you. I love you. But I am not going to support you when you have all the capability of being able to support yourself. Let's go to Marie in Maryland.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for taking my call.
Anytime.
My issue is my son, who's in his late 20s and has a serious issue with managing money, and it's now beginning to affect me. He overdrew his checking account, which probably resulted in the loss of his job because he banked with the same financial institution. He's being forced to leave his apartment now because he's unemployed and move in with me. And I want to begin to implement some tough love here, but also would like to help him find a resource to deal with his emotional issues around money. Where do I begin?
How old is he?
29.
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say 19 or 20. 29.
No.
29 is already a man. What do you think his emotional issues with money happens to be?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it seems like he doesn't look ahead at all. He lives in the moment and, just doesn't look at what's in his checking account or makes commitments that are over what he can afford.
And when he moves in, are you going to set a date that he has to move out by?
I hadn't, no.
All right, here's what I would be doing if I were you. If you want to change his financial relationship with money, I don't think your son probably has that big of an emotional problem with money at all. Something's going on where he values nothing, so to speak. When you don't value money, you don't value yourself. And if you don't value yourself, the problem isn't with money, it's with who you are. So maybe he needs to go see a therapist about that. But you have got to set up a situation where you keep track of all the food that he eats, all the electricity, how much your electricity bills go up, everything that goes on, and he needs to carry his share. Because if you just let him come in and move in, and now you treat him like he's a little baby and he doesn't have to worry about anything, if something happens to you, he gets older, he's just going to carry this attitude way out into life. And then you will have really hurt him by trying to help him. When I look at your expenses are like $5,000 a month. And you're only really bringing in $4,600 or what around there. So we are in deficit in the situation that you are currently in. And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I want to buy a piccolo.
A piccolo. Annie, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
You sound very sophisticated for 15.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Should you leave a lucrative job to simply go after a career that makes you happy, even though it pays less? Is it smart or is it selfish? Selfish because when you were making more money, you were able to help loved ones, you were making a good living, and now you can't help anybody. My one-on-one tonight is Natasha. She's coming to us from my hometown of Chicago. Natasha is 31 and she's single. Now, 5 years ago, she worked for a major corporation making $120,000 a year, but guess what? She wasn't happy. So what did she do? She went back to grad school, left that position, and is now working at a job that she really likes. But here's the problem. The new job doesn't cover her bills, and she can't help her aging parents like she used to. So this leaves her at a crossroads, and she doesn't know what to do. So who did she come to? Me. Natasha, welcome to the Suze Orman Show.
Thank you, Susie. And I feel so blessed to be on your show. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. So tell me what your thinking process is here.
All right. So you are correct. I did have a really great job before grad school and discovered a path that I really love. However, I'm making a lot less than I was making before. However, while I'm cut back, it's still hard for me to make ends meet.
So you are asset rich and cash poor.
Yes.
Now I have to ask you a question. You own a condo, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you bought this condo when you had an income of $120,000 a year.
Yes.
So you were easily able to afford it.
Yes.
Today, now you're making a lot less. Can you afford that condo? Do you love that condo? Do you want to keep that condo? Because normally the real estate in our lives happens to be the biggest expense. And so that's where you're being killed, no doubt, right?
Exactly. And Susie, I love my condo. I bought my condo with flexibility in mind. I settled on a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home, knowing that if I went to grad school, that I could rent it out. If my parents needed to, be with me for any reason, there's an elevator, so it would be easy for them to access if I got married and had a child.
So your parents play, obviously, a very vital role in your life.
Yes. I mean, Susie, they made so many sacrifices for me to get where I am today. They came here with not a lot, but they didn't let that stop them from making sure that their kids had a really good education and, things that, maybe they didn't put themselves in the best situation for now, but, they put themselves in a situation where my sister and I would be able to succeed in this country.
And therefore, you then want to make sure that you can take care of them. And you also want to make sure, do they live near you?
They do. They live very close to me. That's another excellent thing about where my condo is located.
So really what you're asking me is this. So let's be clear here. You're asking me, how can Suze Orman create a scenario for you? You can keep your condo, you can be close to your parents, you can help them financially, you can continue to do this job that you love and make everything that you have work, even though currently now it's not working at all. Because when I look at your expenses are like $5,000 a month, and you're only really bringing in $4,600 or what around there. So we are in deficit in the situation that you are currently in. So you're asking me to pull money out of the hat, so to speak, to let you stay here, right?
Yes, Susie.
Here's what I would do if I were you. I want you to have your dreams come true. And you're 31 years of age. I'm only going to ask you to do a sacrifice for 2 or 3 years. It's not that big of a deal. If you were to rent out your condo to somebody and we were still $400 a month in deficit, you would be literally getting rid of almost $3,300 a month in expenses that you currently have. If you were to move in with your parents for the next 2.5 years, is that something that you would be open to, and would they be open to it?
They definitely would be open to it, and I would be open to it.
So here's what the great news, okay? If you're willing to move in with your parents and your parents want you to, that takes care of your guilt of not being able to spend time with them or give them something, and now we have the family unit back together. During that time, when your condo is being rented out, you have the money now to pay for whatever shortfall there may be between what you owe on it and what your renters are paying you. But the truth of the matter is you are now going to have an extra $3,000 per month. What are you going to do with that $3,000 per month? You are going to take the $3,000 per month along with the $300 per month you already have that you are paying towards what? Your credit card bill. You owe almost $15,000 in credit cards. In 5 months, you would be out of credit card debt. Then what are you going to do? Now you're going to take that $3,300 a month that you were paying towards your credit card, and you're going to add it to the $500 a month that you have been paying towards your student loan. And in essence, in 1.5 years, after the 5 months to get out of credit card debt, you are going to have 0 in student loan payments.
Oh my gosh.
Now here you are literally just 2 years from now, having no student loan payment, no credit card payment. You have spent time with your parents. Now you're saving and saving and saving money. And once you have saved at least 8 months of emergency expenses, so for like $40,000, it might take you really just another 10 months to do that. You then have what it takes to move back into your condo, because by that time you should be making more money, according to what you say. So you'll have more money, and you have more money because you have less expenses, and you're also earning more. The only change that I want you to make to anything is that because your parents are so near and dear to you, you should take out a term life insurance policy on yourself where you own it, you're the insured, and they're the beneficiaries. Just in case something were to happen to you at 31, you can get them a $500,000, 20-year term policy on yourself, and it might cost you $20, $25 a month.
Okay.
So you can afford that now. So that is what you are to do. If you do that, in 3 years from now, can you see it?
Yes.
Can you see it? You have your loved job that you want. You're making money. You're out of debt. You're with your parents. Everything is working for just a little sacrifice. Girlfriend, you go and do it, and you do it right now.
All right, Susie, thank you.
You are welcome. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I would like to buy Green Bay Packers stock.
Oh, thank God it was a stock. I thought you were going to say I want to buy a Green Bay Packer. Also,
I want to buy an unlimited yoga package for a year.
how often do you go to yoga now? What do you want to buy?
Green Bay Packers stock.
Unlimited yoga package.
Road Trek RV.
Welcome, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in and you simply say this. You go, Susie, please, I want to buy this. I want to buy that. I ask you a few questions, and then I tell you if you could afford it or not. Let's go and see what we got. Julie, what do you want to buy?
Hello, Susie. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Anytime, Julie, what do you want to buy?
I would like to buy Green Bay Packers stock.
Oh, thank God it was a stock. I thought you were going to say I want to buy a Green Bay Packer.
No, just a stock.
And the stock, I was going to say, I bet they're expensive. Really? You want to buy one?
Oh,
Just
it's quite reasonable.
$275. Does it trade on the stock exchange? I mean, why do you want to buy this stock? What makes you think you'll make money in it?
I know, but I would just love to be a part owner of this great football team. They're a wonderful organization and so much a part of our Wisconsin culture.
And so you just really want to say once you're sitting around with your friends, you go, I'm a part owner of the Green Bay Packers.
That's right.
All right, girlfriend.
It would be wonderful.
Show me the money.
Our combined total take-home income is $6,405. That includes $820 unemployment.
Great.
Our expenses are $4,530 a month.
All right.
We own 2 homes outright. We have debt of $50,000 mortgage on a 30-year fixed loan. Our savings are $72,000 liquid, $60,000 investments, $379,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
Out of our liquid savings.
Go long, go long. I'm throwing you a pass, bro. You caught it and it's approved.
Thank you so much.
Anytime, touchdown. Anyway, Angela, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy an unlimited yoga package for a year.
So that means that you can go as many times as you want, 5 times a day, whatever, 7 days a week for a whole year, correct?
366 days in this leap year. Yes, ma'am.
How often do you go to yoga now?
I go sometime between about 2 and 5 classes a week.
And at 5 classes a week, how much do you pay per class?
About $16 per class.
Per class. Girlfriend, show me the money.
All right, Susie, I make $3,297 a month in take home.
Uh-huh.
My expenses are $2,919 a month, which includes my rent at $915. I've got no debt. Yay me!
Hey!
And I have savings of $70,000 liquid, $86,000 in investments, and $83,000 in retirement.
And you also have this, a whole year of being able to go to classes. You have been approved. Girlfriend, Julie, what do you have? Or Julia, what do you want to buy?
I want to buy a 2007 used Road Trek RV.
A Road Trek, let me take a look at it. for you want to spend $60,000 on a car or a truck that's 2007, that's now 5 years old. You want to spend $60,000 on a used car, is that right?
Wait a second. It's an RV, but it's a mini RV, and the new ones actually cost $90,000. So we're looking for a used one.
Have you found one yet?
Well, we have several sort of narrowed down, but we're waiting to talk to you to make sure that you're going to give us the okay.
All right, girlfriend, show me the money.
Okay. Well, first of all, my husband and I love to travel. We both work in education, and, we're getting older, and we want to be able to live life to the fullest.
I can identify with that so much I can't even tell you. That's how I think about my little tiny boat when I'm in the ocean on it. Anyway, and it's tiny. But anyway, go on.
Okay. So, anyway, so our prices, we're looking in the $60,000 range. Our income is $9,528 combined.
Yeah.
Our expenses are $5,979 a month.
Yeah.
Our debt is we just owe $19,000 on our mortgage.
Great.
$7,000 on a home equity loan, $11,000 on a car loan, and we have savings, $39,000 in liquid, and $412,000 in retirement.
So I'm confused. How are you going to pay for this?
We're going to take out a home equity loan.
You are. And then what are you going to do? So you're going to take out a home equity line of credit, you're going to pay off this car in full, and then you're just going to pay back the home equity line of credit. Is that correct?
Correct.
Denied.
Why?
Because, listen to me, home equity lines of credit don't fix the interest rate. So if interest rates start to go up, and then interest rates could very well start to go up, inflation could start to go up, it is possible that rather than 3% or 4 or 5% that you would be paying on a home equity line of credit right now, a few years from now, when you're older, you could see that go all the way up to 8, 9, 10, 11%. That's what happened a few years ago. Plus, you do not have enough money in an emergency fund. You need more than you have there, and you don't have enough in retirement to really meet your needs as far as your expenses go. So I know you want to do this. Here's what you should do. Just rent one, go out for a week. You don't have to own it. When you own it, your car insurance goes up, your gasoline, everything. You haven't factored that in. You're denied. I'm so sorry. It's always so rough to deny somebody who really wants something. Oh my God, but have you noticed that we've had many kids calling in to the Can I Afford It segment? I'm walking down the street, and you know what everyone says to me when they talk about the Can I Afford It segment? They say, Susie, we love the kids that are on there, have more. So we thought, okay, we will. So we created the Can I Afford It Junior section of the Suze Orman Show. So if you have kids, they want to buy something, come on, send in their information, and I'll tell them if they can afford it or not. I'll be their surrogate parent just for their money, all right? Let's see. So, Annie, what do you want to buy?
Hi, I want to buy a piccolo.
A piccolo. Annie, how old are you?
I'm 15 years old.
You sound very sophisticated for 15.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you feel sophisticated?
Probably not.
No, but if I were to ask you how old do you feel you really are, how old would you say?
Maybe 29.
29, so you have a 15-year-old feeling like they're 29. That's kind of sophisticated. Anyway, so you want to spend $1,100 on a piccolo. How come?
Well, currently I am the principal player in my youth symphony for flute and piccolo. And I'm playing on a piccolo that's school-owned that's not very good quality. And since I want to go into music, I think I should purchase a professional piccolo.
Girlfriend, show me the money.
Well, currently I have an income of $45 a month in allowance. I spend about $15 a month on Starbucks. I don't have any debt. I don't have any credit cards. I have $425 in liquid savings. And my college fund is funded at $100,000. And the piccolo is $1,100.
So obviously your parents have put away enough money for your college education, or they're continuing to do that. So how are you, if all you have is $425 liquid, how are you going to pay for this piccolo?
Well, my parents have agreed to buy when my birthday comes up in a few months, I am projected to have about $600 in saving at that point.
Yes.
And my parents said that they would lend me the other $500 with 0 interest, and I would have the summer to pay it back.
And how would you pay them back? Out of what? Out of the allowance that they give you?
Well, I should be getting a babysitting job. And over the course of the summer, making $8 an hour, 25 hours a week, I should make about $2,000.
All right, so I have Annie, who's 15 years of age, and you feel like you're 29, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to treat you like you are a 29-year-old, and I am going to deny you. Stick with me here, girlfriend.
Okay.
The reason that I'm going to deny you is you will be using up 100% of your savings to buy this piccolo, and you will still find yourself in debt. Even though it's at a 0% interest rate, you will be in debt with no emergency fund, no money to back you up. So you have been what? You've been denied. You are to get that job. You are to save money. Once you have all $1,100, then you can buy your piccolo. So work hard. And if you simply gave up $30 a month in coffee or a week or whatever it is, you would be able to get there faster. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment or the Can I Afford It Junior segment? You can do so. All you have to do is go to SuzeOrman.com and you will find the information that you need to know there to come and play with me right here. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Suze. Wouldn't you like to know that when you turn 59 and a half or you get older, like me, and you are able to take your money out of a retirement account, you could do it absolutely tax-free? Welcome back, everybody. Do you ever wonder, how can I contact Suze so that she can answer my question? I'm so confused. Help me, Suze. Well, if you want me to help you, all you have to do is look at your screen. And you can send in an email to SuzeOrman.com or SuzeOrman.cnbc.com. Become a fan of mine on Facebook, or you can tweet me at Suze Orman Show. And if you want your tweet to possibly be answered right here on air, put hashtag AskSuze, and if it's chosen, I'm going to be answering your question. Let's see what's trending right now. All right, we have RCB 1224. I wonder what that means. Anyway, credit question. Can you request a creditor that has reported negative info to remove the account upon payment in full? Well, RCB, you can request it, but chances are they're not going to do it. Normally, negative information stays on your credit report if it's accurate information for at least 7 years. Even then, sometimes they miss it and they don't take it off, but then you can call the credit bureaus and ask them to do so. But the truth of the matter is, if you pay it off in full, some lenders, especially mortgage lenders, like to see that you did pay off an old bill in full, but it will not help your credit score at all. So if you're thinking you're going to pay off this bill to see an increase in your score, it doesn't work that way. All right, let's see what else is trending. We have BMK White. Why do you recommend against paying money towards a mortgage if you still don't plan on staying? It's still equity. Are you sure, BMK? Let's just say 5 years ago, I had told you it doesn't matter whether you plan to stay in your house or not forever, but just pay down your mortgage because it's equity. You have that. And your house was worth $300,000 when I told you that. And today it's worth $75,000. Equity disappeared. You have all seen equity disappear. If you're going to stay in the house, it doesn't matter what the house is worth. You just want to pay off the mortgage. You don't care about the equity. You just care that you don't have any mortgage payments anymore because you're going to live there for the rest of your life. But if you're not and you want to sell the house and you have negative equity, now you're giving away good money along with bad, so you're far better off to take that money, keep it out of the house, invest it in retirement accounts, pay down credit card debt, do something else with it. That's why I tell you that. Let's go to the webcam. Mia in North Carolina, what do you want to ask me?
Hi, Susie. In the past, my company has traditionally matched up to 6% on a 401k. Starting this year, not only will they continue to match that on a traditional 401k, but we now have the option to match up to 6% on a Roth 401k. Would you, if you were me, allocate your 6% towards one or the other? And would your opinion change as I got closer to retirement?
I would do a Roth 401k, hands down, hands down, hands down. I would do a Roth IRA over a traditional IRA if I could qualify for one or figure out how to do that. I would do a Roth 401k over a regular 401k any time of the day. And here is the reason, is that as you get older, what you see in your account is what you want to be able to count on. Wouldn't you like to know that when you turn 59 and a half or you get older, like me, and you are able to take your money out of a retirement account, you could do it absolutely tax-free? Wouldn't you kind of want to know that? So I think that is absolutely the way that you should go. Now, the question will be the match, if they're matching with after-tax money or are they matching with before-tax money? Because if they've never paid money on that match, you will have to pay income tax on the match part, but who cares? The rest of it, you won't have to pay taxes on. So I would take the hit on taxes right now to get it out tax-free later on, rather than to get it all tax-deferred and take a tax hit on all of it later on. Did that make sense?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much, Susie.
All right, see you soon. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I'm going to teach you how you can get your money mojo back. Do you now, in this period of time, knowing where you sit right now, if you could turn back the hands of time, would you do it again?
Yes.
All right, now, there's your mojo. Welcome back, everybody. Question for you, have you lost your money mojo? Whether it's looking for a job, figuring out what your future's going to hold, or just trying to save money, it is hard to get motivated sometimes. So I've decided March as Money Mojo Month. My goal is to help motivate you to do whatever it is you want or need to do when it comes to your money. Tonight, Susan says she's lost her money mojo.
Hi, Susie. My husband and I are in our mid-50s. For the past 2.5 years, we've helped our daughter and her 4 children out of a bad situation. She's somewhat on her feet now, but we're in extreme debt with no immediate hope of paying it off. We haven't defaulted on any bills yet, but we're treading water just making above the minimum payments. We did the right thing for them, and it's backfiring on us. We're not getting any younger, and I'm discouraged. Susie, can you help us get our money mojo back?
You know, first of all, welcome to the Suze Orman Show. How are you feeling right now?
Depressed.
Depressed. Here, I don't blame you. But here's what's sad about what I just saw in that little tape piece. For 2.5 years, you helped your daughter out of a bad situation. During the 2.5 years you were doing it, were you doing something that you didn't want to do, or were you doing something that you really loved doing because you knew you were helping your daughter, your grandchildren when you were doing it? Were you at least happy that you were doing it?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And why is it, now that you have helped her and now that she is okay, what happened to all that love, that mojo love energy that you were helping your daughter? You now see that she's on her feet, that now you are thinking to yourself that this was a serious mistake. What happened?
I'm not thinking it's a serious mistake.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You just said in that piece at the very end that now you don't have any money, she's okay, but nobody's helping us, which means it's a mistake. You wished you hadn't done it. Come on, be honest with me. Do you now, in this period of time, knowing where you sit right now, if you could turn back the hands of time, would you do it again?
Yes.
All right, now, there's your mojo. There's your mojo. Because,
well,
go on.
Susie, this was a situation that was, the call came at midnight and they had to go into a safe house. And I have been on reactive mode ever since this started and doing what I thought the kids needed as far as stability and, maintaining a normal life.
And then what has happened to change your mind?
Well, they're pretty much now on their own. I'm not really propping them up so much anymore.
And so then is it
and
that
then
you
I got a letter from the bank saying they're going to raise our interest rates to 19%, and I just felt like I'm being punched in the gut.
Your daughter was in a serious situation. Your grandchildren were in a seriously dangerous, obviously, if they needed a safe house, situation. So you can't say to yourself, oh, but now I have interest rates that are going to 19%. You can't get out of touch with the fact that you did something that very probably saved your children or your child and your grandchildren. You have to find the joy in that again. I think what you've lost a little bit is their dependency upon you. To get your mojo back, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your child, I want you to look at your grandchildren, and I want you to take real pride in that you made your family safe. I want you to look at the 19% interest rate, and rather than it bringing you down, I want you to become a warrior and go, I'm going to deal with this. I can transfer my credit card debt at 19% to possibly a credit card at a credit union. I can do things. I can be a warrior and not turn my back on the battlefield. I can make things happen. I saved my family. I can save myself. I want you to be proud of what you did. I want you to be proud of who you are. And I need you to get energy, do jumping jacks. Every day, do jumping jacks with your husband and say, I can do this, because as soon as your energy comes back, you can change anything. Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. Let's say you're out there and you really do have money that you want to gift to somebody. You need to know the tax consequences if you do so. So here's what you need to know. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. That brings us almost to the end of the Suze Orman Show, but there really is still one more thing I want you to know. Tonight, we have talked a lot about giving money, lending money, when you go to somebody to borrow money. But let's say you're out there and you really do have money that you want to gift to somebody. You need to know the tax consequences if you do so. Are there any? Is the person that you give the gift to, do they pay taxes on? Do you pay taxes on it? So here's what you need to know. Let's stop right here. This is my 2025 update. Did you know that you could give $19,000 a year to as many people as you want? They don't have to be related to you. You don't even have to like them. So you could, if you wanted to, give $19,000 a year to your 6 grandchildren, or $19,000 a year to 50 friends. It doesn't matter. $19,000 a year, tax-free, to as many people as you want. And guess what? If you're married, your spouse can do the exact same thing. So together, you could give $38,000 a year to your grandchild, to those 6 grandchildren, or to those 50 friends. All right? And again, tax-free to you and tax-free to them. Hey, now you know. But here's something else you don't have to think twice about. You better come back next Saturday night, because there's really only one thing that I want you to know when it comes to your money, and it's this. People first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.